Council.
It's for a stimulus. Are you voting in favor or against it?
Yeah, but it's for the improvements in the project's already going, so this is the improvements to the project for the water.
Councilmember Delavar?
No.
Councilmember Greenlee?
Aye.
Motion carries. And Agenda Bill 103-10, the Supplemental Professional Services Agreement Number 2 from Kennedy Jenks regarding Class A Biosolids Program.
Yes, Mr.
Boy,
Mayor.
Joanne, you just get it all tonight.
Mr. Mayor and Council, to give you a quick update, this is a supplemental for Kennedy Jenks, and it's to cover a series of services for a reevaluation on the biosolids handling in conjunction with Camus's capital facility improvements at their wastewater treatment plant. It also looks at some other near-term ideas for solids handling. It also covers some comments that we received from the Department of Ecology on our facility plan, and Kennedy Jenks needs to provide supplemental information to the Department of Ecology to explain growth, flows, and loading projection differences from the previous study done in 2006 and how that impacts our current capital improvement program. Trevor also notes that the factors that were anticipated in the previous study had growth factors in it that, of course, have not come true since we've had this slowdown. So staff is submitting this supplemental agreement number 2, and it will consist of three tasks: short-term biosolids handling evaluation, additional facility plan efforts, optional presentation to the City Council. Therefore, the recommended action is to authorize the mayor to sign the Kennedy Jenks Supplemental Professional Service Agreement number 2 for the Class A Biosolids Program.
So move.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion by council? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And Agenda Bill 104-10, Mr. Stevenson.
The city's identified a city asset that is unusable. This item is a camera lens that was purchased for a camera that was not city property. Original purchase price for the camera lens was $1,279.99. To return the lens to the original vendor, the city would only get 1/3 of the original amount of the purchase as a credit. The city staff would request to declare this item as surplus and try to get the best reasonable bid through an online auction site. Examples of this would be either use eBay and set a minimum bet of $900 on the item. City believes that this would be the best venue to get the most reasonable price for the lens. Recommended actions is to read the resolution by title only and then to pass and post resolution in the usual manner.
I ask unanimous consent that we read the resolution by title only.
Hearing no objection, so ordered.
A resolution declaring certain property as surplus and authorizing its sale.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we pass and post the resolution in the usual manner.
Second.
Got a motion in a second to pass and post the resolution in the usual manner. Any discussion? Well, Dave?
Since this unfortunate incident, what process has been set up to ensure that city funds are not used for personal purposes?
Well, one, we've done a little bit more training. One of the things, though, quite frankly, that will not be completely circumvented in this case, this is one that was purchased using a city credit card, and we certainly still have some city credit cards out there, but we wouldn't know about it until after the purchase was done and those receipts came back through for payment.
Is there a process to check credit card bills to catch things like this?
Again, most of that's done once the billings come in and the reconciling is there.
But it would enable us to take action against the people that did it.
For instance,
I would hope, yes, if it's an improper expense that's made on a city credit card, absolutely.
Yeah, if
If it's one
nothing
that's
else.
made on a personal one, it would just be disallowed when it came through.
Okay, if nothing else, a counseling session. Okay,
I would, at a very minimum,
thank you.
you bet. Molly?
Yes, I've actually seen, sitting on the Finance Committee this year and actually reviewing finance somewhat last year, a huge change in the way that credit card bills are not necessarily processed, but reviewed. So it does go to a supervisor, and then it comes to the Finance Committee. Now, agreed, it's after the fact, and it would come as a credit card bill, but there's a lot of documentation that has to be there for each member that charges anything, even $5 on their city credit card. So it is reviewed thoroughly.
And there's another step in the middle of there before it gets to Finance
Yeah.
Council. It goes through myself, and I think there are some staff that will tell you that they do come back to their desks if they're not done properly.
And frankly, there was a lot of that process that was completely missing last year. It was invisible.
Mr. Mayor? Did I understand you correctly when you say that there are still credit cards out there on the city's dime? Is it possible to, I know that if my wife or I, we both have the same credit card number, and if one of us loses our credit card, we call up the bank and ask them to send out new ones. Is that possible for us to do so we can account for all the credit cards?
I'm sorry,
There-
I think I misunderstood your question.
Yeah.
Okay,
We
so
don't
let me-
have missing credit cards, no.
Okay, that's,
No.
see, I misunderstood you
said.
there.
We,
That's-
my apologies. We
Okay.
still have staff and department heads who have credit cards.
Okay, all right.
So-
Further question. There was a question that was raised earlier about the $80 rebate. And do we have any idea if that rebate was reimbursed to the city or if it was deposited by Mr. Bivens or
It
former mayor?
appears, on the receipt, it appears it was taken right off the invoice.
Okay,
If all that adds up correctly, and it appears to.
okay, I see. So the rebate is simply was just taken at the point of sale?
Yep.
Okay. And with regards to the filter itself, is that in the city's inventory?
I'm sorry, the which?
The filter.
That's
It's in
on the
vault as
receipt.
well, is it not?
I'm assuming everything is there on camera lens.
Okay.
Nobody's laid eyes on it since December.
Okay, so in other words, is this surplus property including the filter that's going to go with it, or is that separate?
Back and check. If anything, we surplus the lens and we can have the filter as part of the package. I'm not sure, to be honest, I'm not sure what a filter is.
Okay.
Can I ask the Finance Committee, now, is there anything that's documented now that says the procedures if someone has an inappropriate expense? And I understand it's got to go through you, but is it written as to how it will be handled? In other words, we back up to this camera lens in this specific case, and I don't think I've seen documentation, so I'm asking, is it documented now that, a procedure?
I don't think we do have a policy in place for, backtracking what we would construe as inappropriate use of a credit card.
And if so, should we have it in the employees manual?
We do in the personnel manual.
Okay. All right, so it's there.
It has to do, I believe it calls out both credit cards and calls out city finances, period.
Cell
Any,
phones, all
any
kinds
city
of
assets.
inappropriate expenditures, huh? Thanks.
Any other discussion, Dana?
I've been looking for an opportunity to do this for some time. Molly gave me the opportunity, the opening here.
Uh-oh.
I wanted to thank. I wanted to thank Molly for her bulldog tenacity as